with life coaching, it's two things. It's one, it is working out how to achieve our objectives as efficiently and as quickly as possible. But the second thing is learning to relax about it and, you know, enjoy the process.
In our last chat with Ola, we discovered she is a tattoo artist who also runs a tattoo parlour, and that she wants to move to live in Barcelona in Spain. Her tattoo business and career are established, so it's a case of moving things to the next level and navigating the challenges of having her established business in England whilst wanting to move to Barcelona.
Presumably different tattoos take different lengths of time. How does a pricing structure work for that? Is it per hour or per area?
So most sessions, it's per hour. So I charge
Yeah.
120 pounds per hour. Sometimes if it's my flash design that I had pre-drawn, I give them that price. So then, yeah, if it takes longer, I won't charge more. Yeah,
So the flash design, that's the one where you designed it yourself.
yeah.
What does flash mean?
It comes from like the old tattoo studios where you basically only would get tattoos that were on the walls, um, displayed as a like flash, like a book with different designs. Yeah, so they are like pre-drawn ideas. So like in the 90s, you would come into a tattoo studio and there was a book of designs, which were repeatable, and people were just choosing from what was there. And then later on, custom designs were more popular. So people, well, maybe not more popular, but it was a different option where the tattoo artist will like talk to you and you say, you want a portrait of your dog with some daisies around it. So they would draw that specifically for you, and it's you wouldn't tattoo the same stuff again. Um,
So with the flash design, how much does that get charged for per hour roughly?
uh, so usually, for example, like if I know it's gonna take me about 2 hours, then I would charge maybe 200 or 220, so it's a little bit less, just because like I usually really want to do them and I want to sell them, so I go down on the price. Um, and sometimes it's the same as the 120, where I say it should take around 3 to 4 hours, depending on the placement and the final size. So I try to give like a estimate, whatever I price, that it can be less, it can be more. So because sometimes it's hard to tell, like how many times someone will have to take a break. Every skin is different, so it can vary a little bit.
So sorry, I guess I didn't understand that. So do you give them a
Hmm.
set price, or do you? So if it's going to take 3 hours,
Hmm.
so say I came in and I wanted a tattoo, I
Hmm.
wanted a big picture of my face on my muscle, um, and it estimated to take 3 hours. Would you just do 3 times 120, and that would be the price?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
But
if
I
it
would
took you,
probably tell you, sorry, I would probably tell you before that it can take between 3 and 4 hours. So then on the day, if it takes longer, I don't like lose my time and money. And
Mhm.
then you're not surprised that you have to pay 120 pounds more than I said it would be.
I understand. Yeah, perfect. Um, and the studio, do you rent the studio or do you own it?
I rent it.
And how much does the rent of the studio cost a month? Or
Um, with the bills, it's around 1,500.
And has it just got one chair in it?
No, there is three stations.
So do you sometimes have multiple people working at the same time?
Hmm. Usually it's one or two. Couple days a month it happens that it's three of us.
And how much do people renting the chair? Is that what you called it? Renting the chair?
Yeah. So it depends on the artist. So I've got one artist who's there full time, and he's paying like every week £250. And then there is another person who's doing between 4 and 6 days a month, and they are paying £100 a day. And then there is another person who's just gonna join, and he doesn't have a big client base, so he was worried that sometimes he's just gonna get a little tattoo, which is gonna be less than £100. So we've agreed to do 30-70%. So he's gonna pay me 30% from each tattoo.
So do you find each month you're able to save money, or is that not the case?
Um, I am, yeah.
So is it the case that you could, in theory, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
If your schedule wasn't determined by talking to people, so presumably you have people making inquiries, you're speaking to people, and you're doing your bookings according to that. If that wasn't the case, say magically you could make your schedule on an Excel spreadsheet, would you assign less time to tattooing and more time to learning trading?
I want to say yes, but there comes the problem that I know that if I book clients in, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I book clients in, then I am certain that I'm going to make money. So I want to say yes, but in reality, it would probably be no, because if I did have opportunity to work and make money now, then I would probably choose that over learning to trade to then have money in the future.
And how many hours? I know, I think I asked this before, but that was minutes ago, so I can't remember the answer. How many hours a week do you spend tattooing roughly? Do you have any kind of way of knowing a kind of average for a month or something?
Mm, yeah, I think it would probably be. You mean just tattooing itself, or how much time I spent in the studio, like doing consultations, replying to emails,
Oh, I
or
see. Hang
just
on, let me
purely
just make some notes. So we've got consultations, emails, tattooing. What other
social
tasks?
media, like making reels and posts?
Yeah. How much time do you spend actually tattooing?
Um, Maybe 20 hours a week.
And then consultations. What is a consultation?
So I do either video consultations like this, or people come into the studio and we talk about their idea. So not everyone does it, but I think it's nice when you can come into the studio, see that it's a nice place, that it's calm, that it's clean before you decide to book in for the tattoo. Like for many people, it's very like if they are anxious, it's very stressful to get a tattoo, even though they really want it. They don't know who I am, and then they suddenly have to take their t-shirt off and and be stabbed for a few hours. So it's a lot for them. So they come in, we talk about the size, we talk about the placement, the idea, we look at different pictures, and then we go through the dates, and then they either book in or they don't book in. Not everyone does it. Some people just email me and be like, "Hey, I want this picture of my dog," and then I send them my dates, I send them the estimated price, and they book in straight away. But very often the consultation is happening first.
And how much time do you reckon a week you spend on consultation?
Mm, maybe like 2 hours.
2 hours a week in total.
Yeah, they're usually short, like 10, 15 minutes.
And then how long on emails a week?
That's quite hard to tell because there's email, there's Instagram messages, even though I have like a inquiry form on my Instagram bio that people can click in and fill, they still message me. So sometimes I shouldn't do it, but I message with clients, like with friends, every now and then. When I pick up my phone and I see I have a message, I reply. So yeah, probably about 3 hours a week.
And then presumably the rest is on just running the business, dealing with the studio, dealing with your other people who use the chairs, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and designs.
And
That takes
designs.
that takes a lot as well.
How many hours a week would you say on designs?
Mm, be 7, 8.
And are these designs, are they all the ones you're are these ones that you're just doing because you like them, or are these ones people say, I want a tattoo of my dog, and then you have to design it for them?
I think the second one, so the one that they have to design for people who are already booked in.
And do they pay? Do they pay for that, or is that part of the
No, so
tattoo?
that's included in the 120 per hour.
So if you were going to do a 3 hour tattoo, how long would it take you to do the design?
If it's a picture of their dog, then it's probably going to take me half an hour to just remove the background, sometimes adjust the lighting. So it can, yeah, be between 10 minutes and sometimes 3 hours. Because sometimes, like, you try to draw something and it's just not working, and you need to find I don't know, a better reference image. If someone wanted, for example, like floral piece, then you need to do a good composition so it flows with the shape of their body. And sometimes it's kind of working well, and sometimes you're like fighting it. So that I'm unable to tell like exactly, how much it is, because it really depends on the week. That's why it's quite hard to have a structure in the week.
So when you say 7 to 8 hours of designs, is that not at all your kind of future designs?
So with these, it's sometimes I'm not doing any for 2 weeks, and sometimes I have a day off and I'm gonna spend like 6 hours just drawing, or yeah, coming up with ideas. Um, so yeah, it depends on my week.
If you had a studio in Barcelona already, would you care about the trading? Yeah.
Probably not, because yeah, if I if I lived in Barcelona, I think I wouldn't I wouldn't have to go away as much as I do now, which I spend a lot of money on, because like we don't like the British weather, and we like to escape it. Every We probably go away every 2 months now. Mm. So that's a big expense. Where I believe if we lived in Barcelona and it was sunny more often and you didn't have to like plan everything around the weather. Like if you just want to spend time outside, you go outside. Where in Bristol, sometimes I feel like staying at home, but because it's sunny, I feel the pressure to go outside. Um, Sorry, I'm going too far with this thought. Yeah, if I lived in Barcelona, I think I would enjoy the city more, so I wouldn't try to escape it. So I could work less and still, have good money.
So, what are your thoughts about having just doing that, having the kind of similar setup you've got here in Barcelona? What's the pros and cons of that?
It's I want to, well, it sounds bad, but I think it's impossible for me to do that in Barcelona because I went there for 4 months and it wasn't easy to find clients. Like there is so many studios there and so many tattoo artists. The clients spread between them, and there are like well established tattoo artists there that might have a lot of bookings, but there is so many people moving there from the US and different European countries trying to work there. Like I even spoke to some people who moved there from Australia or Germany, really good tattoo artists, and they are struggling to find work
Hmm.
because maybe the economy is not as good, and yeah, like I said, there is so many options for clients um, that like I wouldn't feel secure not knowing if I'm gonna make €1,000 next month. I got used to kind of higher living standards that, yeah, I wouldn't like to risk and just depend on the tattoo industry if I lived somewhere else than Bristol, really.
So, if you moved to Barcelona, would that be the kind of end of the of tattooing as your career at that moment?
No, no. So, I would like to keep on tattooing and slowly build my client base there, go back to Bristol every now and then to tattoo here, do guest spots in different cities. But I wanted to have the trading as a security blanket for finances. And I would like to tattoo less and just focus on projects that I really enjoy, but also still make money.
Um, do you think that, because I know you said that if you lived in Barcelona, you'd need to travel less, but if you had a hybrid work life between Bristol, then you might end up traveling more.
Yeah, yeah. I meant like traveling for holiday. So
Okay.
like going to, places and I would be working less, so I wouldn't need that many holidays, maybe.
Do you have in your mind any kind of time frame, or is it just as soon as you can make it happen?
Um, the winter of 2026 and 27. It's like a year and a half.
You know, the really nice thing with this plan you have is the fact that you can be testing your trading skills and check it's making money before you take the plunge.
Yeah. Yeah, even if I don't know, I don't even know if it's realistic, but let's say if I spend a day a week now and made £200 a week, and then I knew that if I moved to Barcelona, I had 2 or 3 days to be able to do it. That means 600 a week. Then yeah, that would be great. But the problem is that I did like an hour of learning last week, and then a really busy period started, and I haven't done any learning for a few days.
When you
And
get
soon
booking,
it's going to be a year. Sorry.
no, sorry, soon it's going to be a year since you
Yeah, I
started.
was saying that, yeah, and like time flies, and I was hoping to like finish the courses that I started within 2 months. But 2 months is actually like, yeah, not much time, and time is passing by, and I'm struggling to stick to at least like half an hour a day.
When you get clients, are they usually flexible, or do they want it to be done as soon as possible?
Flexible. Yeah, not very often they want it to be as soon as possible. Very often they come for a consultation, they find out how much it's going to be, so they want like a month or two to save. Mm, yeah.
So it got the signal got a bit sketchy there. But were you
Mhm.
saying that there's normally like a month or two booking in advance?
Yeah.
So does that enable you to smooth out your timetable? Because I guess there's one thing I don't understand yet.
Mhm.
Because you know how you have super busy weeks and not so busy weeks. How how comes you how comes as and it's not I'm trying to understand. I'm not in any way trying to sound like I could do any better or anything. How
Sure.
comes you don't say, "Oh, I'm busy that week. Can you come the week after?" And it gets a bit more smoothed out.
Um, because like for example, the first 2 or 3 weeks of May were very quiet. Like I guess in for example, in I don't know, end of March till April, I didn't have many inquiries. So the days in May didn't get booked.
Uh-huh.
So when people started messaging during those weeks in May, that was quite quiet. Rather than asking them to come in June, I tried to squeeze them in for the last week of May. So I catch up with money that I didn't make in the previous 2 weeks.
Mm.
So I kind of push them to get booked in as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Um, on the on those weeks that were more quiet, did you get much studying then done then?
Yes. Yeah, I did more. I I also did a charcoal drawing course to like develop my drawing skills. So even if one of those days were not busy in work, I kind of felt busy doing other things. And yeah, I did more trading, learning as well. Yeah. But then I also did more flash designs to get more clients.
Do you do you find it easy to do you have any things with momentum? Like uh if you stop learning something, are you happy to just pick it up a few weeks later? Or do you find once you've stopped, it's almost harder to pick it back up again than if you just did it yesterday?
It is harder. Um, yeah, the longer the break, the harder it is to come back to it. Um, yeah, I was saying that the longer the break, the harder it is to get back to it. Um, Yeah.
How long through your, how many hours in total was the course, the trading course you're doing?
I can check that quickly. Can you still see me when
Mm-hmm.
I turn this off? Yeah. Um, the first one I was doing was actually like joining a community and looking what they are doing. But that didn't really work for me because it was very specific hours and yeah, I just didn't want more. And the one I'm doing now is about 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, right. So it's not like it's not hundreds of hours. It's this smaller courses.
Yeah, so it's usually like 20 minutes videos. And I just finished recently like the beginner one, which explained everything, um, like the basics and how stock market was made and things like that. So some of the things I already knew, but I went through it. And now I started advanced one, where on the end they're teaching different strategies. But sometimes if I have a longer break, I move back rather than continuing. I go through
Yeah.
the previous videos to make sure I remember everything I've learned.
When you do a design, when you do one of your own designs, how long does that take you from start to finish? I know it's going to be a wide variety of answers, but what's the
Right.
shortest time a design might take, and what's the longest time?
Mm, the shortest be an hour because sometimes I just do like realism kind of or surrealism pieces. So I find some photographs, play with them on my iPad. So it's more kind of like a digital collage, I would say. And then sometimes I draw them from scratch. So that probably takes like, I don't know, it can probably take me a week, a few hours there. I don't know how many hours, maybe like 8 altogether. Um, yes, but I don't do that very often. And the other problem is with those drawings and designs that I can't, well, I can set up like 3 hour window, for example, on a Monday morning and try to do it. But sometimes it just, you don't have an idea, you don't feel like drawing. But yeah, giving myself that time will definitely give me more opportunities to come up with ideas.
Two places I want to go. What would be your feeling about sacrifice? So let's say we have two long-term plans, which is your own designs and the trading. If you had to sacrifice one to put as hobby status and the other to put as the primary, the number one focus, which one would you choose?
I would choose tattooing and like developing my designs better as a primary focus and then trading as a hobby.
If your designs meant, say you focused on your designs as we just chatted about then, and then that combined with so then that so let's say that successfully had two effects. One, it got you more Instagram followers because you're putting your own unique designs on there, and two, it meant you could put your prices up because it was your specific artwork. If that meant that um, your time in Bristol could support your life, your hybrid life in Barcelona and in Bristol. This is going to be a two-part
Mhm.
contradictory question. Would you be happy to sacrifice? Would you not be happy? Would you just not care about trading anymore because you had the money and you had Barcelona?
Or for some period of time, yeah, like probably for the next 10, 15 years. I think the answer is yes. But then, like the after that, like if I wanted to have family, obviously having a hybrid life would be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And the effect that tattooing has on my body sometimes is quite bad. So I don't know how long I will be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the answer is I wouldn't like to say completely no to trading. Just maybe, like you said, treat it as a hobby. Do you have a plan B?
If you did get to have that hybrid life, when you were in Barcelona, you could of course be answering emails, doing designs, learning trading. Um, it's a really tricky one, and with all of, so long term with life coaching, because I know we're doing a 2 hour session right now, which is a lot. Um, but obviously with life coaching, normally you do say an hour and then it's a week or 2 weeks break, which gives me lots of
Hmm.
time to do lots of thinking. Um, and quite often it's really easy to get my head around some good ideas to help people move forward straight away. But this one is a tricky one. Yeah. And part of the reason it's tricky is it's good reasons. It's that you're kind of doing everything right. Like everything's going well. So um, obviously that means the problem we're solving are higher up the food chain and are harder to solve. Uh, so yeah, I guess what I'm saying is um, I'm probably not going to come up with anything valuable today. Um, Not that I have to come up with anything valuable, but uh, yeah, I kind of will want to digest on this. But I'm going to keep going
Hmm.
and keep probing as much as I can. Um, yeah, I guess one thing I'm kind of thinking is if you were to focus on one thing and your preference was to focus on the creating designs and doing the Instagram stuff, and that meant you could have the hybrid life. Once you were in Barcelona, you might have more time to do the learning trading. Because obviously, once you're in Barcelona, you can't be doing some of the stuff you'd be doing on the studio because you'll be miles away from the studio.
So
Um,
do you think, I just thought now that maybe the issue is that I'm trying to have everything in too short period of time, because like one of the reasons why I'm working so much now is that we have some loans to pay off before we can move to Barcelona. So I want to do it as quickly as possible. So I'm working a lot to have money now, but then that it doesn't allow me to focus on like my drawing, my designs, and on learning how to trade, which sometimes makes me frustrated because I would like to move forward in this direction, but also want to make money. And sometimes I end up not doing anything because like I put a lot of pressure to do everything.
I think there's a problem that we all have collectively, and I think this is the day and age of lots of opportunities and lots of perceived opportunities for success. So every time we watch a film or a bit of social media, there's people doing crazy, big, successful things. Um, young entrepreneur businessmen who made, or women who made millions or billions by the age of 21, and sports personalities and stuff. And I think we all forget that life is about how you feel on a week-to-week basis. It's not on achieving your goals in a few months or a few years, which I'm not saying we shouldn't aim to do that, because it does make sense to do that. But we forget that life's about how you feel on a week-to-week basis. And we think that life's about when we do this thing, when we achieve this. And I think it's the natural wiring as well. And it's something that took me, I guess, a very long time to learn. But now I'm very old, so I've had plenty of time to learn it. But so, for example, with me, I used to do, and I still do a little bit, I used to love doing maths and computer programming. And I used to do projects which I just found so exciting. And I'd work all the hours. And I'd think, God, when I've just done this next project, when I've ticked it off, I'll be super happy. That's what's going to make me happy. So I'll be working and like within minutes of finishing it, I'll be like, now I can do this. And, I had to learn the hard way that I have to enjoy the process. That's all there is. The goals, the things, the project's being successful, that's just something going by in the background. You start a project, you finish a project. Oh, look, I've drawn all over my thumb. Anyway, so yeah, it's an issue that we have, especially in this day and age, that you'll probably be naturally feeling like, I want to have a bazillion Instagram followers, and I want my life in Barcelona, and I want to get this done by Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. So yeah, but having said all that, so with life coaching, it's two things. It's one, it is working out how to achieve our objectives as efficiently and as quickly as possible. But the second thing is learning to relax about it and, enjoy the process. So it's two things. But yeah, there's no chance that if we were to continue doing life coaching, we wouldn't work on both. Like, we'd absolutely work on mind frame, and that things that we don't like to hear, like it doesn't really matter when we achieve our objectives. And again, I need to re-stress, I'm not saying we wouldn't aim to achieve them as soon as possible, but ultimately you can do your best and you can go as fast as you go, and life will get you there when it gets you there. Whether you stress about it lots or don't stress about it at all makes zero difference. If anything, stressing about things slightly slows the process down. So
the process, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what your question was, but maybe that was the answer. So, but yeah, when I was asking about if you had to choose one and make the other one a hobby, I'm just at this stage asking. I don't know if that would end up being the most efficient plan or not at this stage, but it might be that. So, for example, you prioritize the Instagram designs and push all of the effort into that. And then when you have your hybrid life in Barcelona, that might be the time to really start pushing the trading. But obviously, we don't know yet. It might be that it turns out on analysis that it's best to get the trading in place, so you have your security wherever you are. And make that the priority, or maybe they have to be equal priorities. At the moment, we're just trying to work that out, trying to data find. One slight thing is that learning something and achieving something, momentum generally is a factor. So say you're going to do a maths course and a geography course, and they were both a year long. it might be, for example, that if you did the maths course for a year and then you did the geography course for a year, that's 2 years. But if you try to do them both at the same time and you were chopping and changing and picking up where you left off, it might be that it takes 3 years in total. So sometimes it does make sense to just focus on one and not the other.
What if like halfway through I would be like, okay, I definitely love the math course way more than the geography one, so it's not worth it. And then I just do the math course.
Yeah, that is a good question. Yeah, and obviously in planning and working out. So in working out which plan is going to meet your objectives, you have to try and obviously get it right. But another issue, which is particularly prominent for people in their 20s, is it kind of feels like there's just so many options, and if you go down the wrong path, you might regret it, and then that sometimes causes people to tread water or procrastinate and not go down any path. And it kind of turns out that that is a risk, but the biggest risk is not going down any path, just kind of half being half-hearted. So yeah, there's a lot of things in the mix, and yeah, there's not 100% right or wrong answer on any of this stuff. Yeah, so one of the things I'm going to do is obviously watch this video back and have a real good think about stuff. But bearing in mind, I'm not really trying to necessarily come up with answers for you, although if I do think of stuff, I will say it. But it's, well, I don't know what it's about, but it's certainly about asking you the right questions and trying to work out what the reality is of your situation. So there's a couple of areas we haven't gone today, which is looking at. So on that matrix I mentioned earlier, so we've got the life coaching matrix, and there's 8 things on it that we're looking at. We haven't looked at the top 2 levels, which is purpose, like what your purpose is, which is something most people haven't thought about and don't necessarily know what that means. But if we spend time probing that and work out what your ultimate purpose is, what you kind of want to give the world, that might offer some guidance on which way is the best way of doing it. The other top level thing is about serenity, like peace of mind, but won't worry about that quite yet. And the other thing, I don't know if you can still hear me or if I'm just talking to myself and the recording's cut out, but I'm going to keep soldering on.
I've only heard that it's purpose.
The what, sorry?
The purpose is one of the 2 that we didn't go.
So purpose that we haven't really gone on, and that's something that people they often don't think about that or really know what it means. But when we drill into that, we might find that guides the plan. The top level is serenity, which is about peace of mind, but we won't worry about that for now. Lower down on the list, there's what we'll call truth or reality. And one of the things that we need to factor in all of this is that your tattooing skills and your art skills have been tested and are effective, and you know the outcome to that. With the trading, we'll have to try and work out to the best of our ability, what your chance of being good at that is. Because it might be that you have an extremely high aptitude for that, and that would be a very sensible thing to pursue. Or it might be that it wouldn't fit your personality or your mind frame or your aptitude. Okay, so did you hear me talking about the truth or reality step?
Yes. So the that I know the outcome of my tattooing, but I don't really know how it would work with trading.
Yeah. So So that's one thing we'll need to factor into the plan. So we'll have to try and find, if to the best of our ability, if that is kind of something that would play to your strengths or not. Yeah. Yeah. How old are you?
27.
You do much work with mustard?
Not really, no. I kind of would like to, but then I don't have time. I mean, every shoot I've done, I've enjoyed, so it's nice to do something different. But yeah, I don't have time to like work on my portfolio, and a lot of models do like free like collaboration shooting just to have more images for their portfolio, where I don't do that anymore. Yeah, I've only done maybe like 5 different shoots since I signed up with them.
When did you sign on?
3 years ago, I think. Yeah. And then like quite often it's like kind of last minute, like week or 2 weeks before. If that happens, then and I have a client, I don't really want to reschedule them, because during the week, people book time off work or get childcare. So obviously that career is more important for me, so I wouldn't like to reschedule them just to. Yeah.
We should have done this phone thing the whole time.
Yeah, much easier. I hope it is I hope it is recording. I hope it.
I think it
Yeah.
will. It is good at recording. I'm sure it will be. I'll download the videos probably tomorrow, and I'll just send you a message to say that it recorded all
Okay,
fine.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to watch this back and and do some processing and come up with some more questions. But it's a good challenge that you've put here. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
I mean, maybe you just got me in a good moment. Just sometimes it's like, up and down, up and down, and I'm going on holiday tonight, so
Oh.
maybe that's why my happiness is 8. I'm going
Yeah,
to Barcelona, actually.
I see. Yeah. What does so was your happiness, was that 8? Is that now? That's not an average.
Um, I don't know. There is like, I think it's kind of easy for me to get really sad, but then it doesn't last long, if you know what I mean. So yeah, most of the time I'm happy.
And where are you at with?
Yeah.
Do you feel pressured to achieve your life goals? Do you feel in a rush?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Not yeah, with both with work, with moving to Barcelona, it would be nice to like enjoy that and have that experience before having family. But then also I'm 27, and I know that like the healthiest time is actually behind me. I wanted to have a baby, so obviously like I wouldn't like to wait till I'm 37. Um, so yeah, there is a bit of pressure.
Are you, because you're not married, are you?
No, no, we've been together for 4 years, but we're not married.
Do you think, and you can tell me all the bits to scratch off of this video, but do you think you guys will have children together?
Yeah,
So that's something you've discussed and stuff.
yeah. Not sure when, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly be challenging mixing new children and a move to Barcelona. I mean, obviously possible, but yeah, that would be probably not advisable.
But we didn't set that like we want to move to Barcelona and live there forever, or at least 5 years. I think even a year would be a good indication whether it's working, and maybe we will love it so much that we stop focusing that much on money. And yeah, or maybe it will be that it was fun for a year, but it's time to go back and focus more on the work and having a family. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop the video in a second. I've got a question, not necessarily to answer now, but just to think about, which is with all the businessy type stuff, answering emails, maintaining the shop, how much of it would be outsourceable, as in how much you could pay someone else to do that. Because obviously, so just yeah, don't answer now, but obviously with your tattooing rates, they're quite good. So yeah, that's something to think about. That's something I do a lot. So like, I'm not saying you should do this at all, but like I have someone who cooks for me and cleans for me, and a lot of that stuff is done, sorted, so that I can focus on business stuff, and admin stuff and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just something for you to contemplate. But yeah, other than that, I will watch this video back, and then what I'll do is I'll email you at some point, and yeah, basically see if we want to do regular scheduling of these kind of things. If we did, it might not be for a couple of months. There might be a gap, but yeah, I'm not sure on that. But either way, yeah. Thank you very much for
Thank you too.
a
Yeah,
guinea
that was
pig
very
and
interesting.
yeah, volunteering for this. But yeah, cool. Well, I hope you enjoy your trip to Barcelona.
Thank you very much. I hope there won't be any issues with the recording, and yeah, let me know what you think.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, lovely to chat to you.
And you. Thank you.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
So flash in these conversations means a pre-designed tattoo, which was well worth me clearing up, because my understanding of flash was when you briefly remove your clothing in a public setting when there are other people present.